welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book-related things, and today I'm giving you my end of the year wrap-up. Now, I recognize that this is now February, and I am posting this quite a bit later, and last year I think I managed to post it in January, but life has been hard, and I had a spoon today, and now this is the third video I've filmed today. Maybe the fourth? Definitely the third though. So if you see this outfit several times, mind your business. It's been hard. If you watch my vlogs, you probably know what's going on. Now, this video is really great if you really enjoy stats. That's it. If you don't enjoy stats, I would recommend skipping it. If you enjoy top and bottom books, like me talking about my favorite books and me talking about my least favorite books, those videos were posted last week and the week before, so you can go watch those. This video, gonna be stats heavy. I find all of my stats using Art's spreadsheet. Now we do have some things that are changed on my spreadsheet specifically that are specific to me, but I use Art's spreadsheet. Art also will do spreadsheets for you specifically if you, I think she has an hourly rate that she'll charge for those spreadsheets. If you need her to adjust something, or if you want her to make something, I highly recommend hitting Art up. That's Ink and Plasma on all social media. She does a fantastic job of it, and I'm eternally grateful for her. She's also the co-creator, or co-host, co-creator, co-worker for CLEARURSHT, so, you know, follow her on all the things. She's great. Let's go ahead and talk about my end of the year wrap up. Let's get into the stats. It's gonna be a whole thing. I read a total of 290 books, which is considerably less than how much I read last year, which was almost 700 books. But you know, a whole lot changed. I got a new job that I am in meetings constantly, so I'm listening to less audiobooks. I moved into my first house, and so I was with my husband a lot and enjoying hanging out with him. I had a very traumatic event happen that I am still currently going through, specifically with my husband's situation, which made me not want to pick up a book. It made me just want to lay on my couch and watch Criminal Minds, which I did. And you know, in lots of my how to read as much as I do book videos, I talk about how it's because we make time for the things we want to do, and I didn't want to read, so I just wasn't reading. If you genuinely enjoy reading and genuinely want to read, then you'll probably spend less time laying on the couch watching Criminal Minds and crying about it. But I didn't the last 2 months of the month. So with that being said, I only read 290 books, which is still a lot compared to quite a lot of other people, I think. I think people will still see that number and say that I'm still only reading for clout, so I guess I haven't lost that clout card. But anyway, I only DNF'd 8 books, which is not that many. I think for the total of like the last 3 years, I think my total DNF count is like 25 out of the definitely over 1,000 books that I've read in the last 3 years. So, you know, I think that that's pretty not that bad. I know that that number comes up a lot when people want to say that our reading numbers are fake. I think people are like, well, they're counting their DNFs, so that doesn't count. Well, I mean, statistically, it's a very low percentage of the amount of books that I've read. I read a total of 40,982 pages. This year I was only counting pages of books I was literally reading with my eyeballs. I did not put pages in for books that were not or that were audiobooks. I never put the pages in because I wanted this to be a really accurate number, and that number is 40,982 pages for audiobooks. Now, mind you, I do listen to them on 3 times speed, and the amount of time that I put in the audiobooks is their legitimate audiobook time. I feel like I've never made that clear, so I'm not actually listening to audiobooks as long or as often as it seems like I am, because I'm listening to them on 3 times speed. And before anyone says you can't comprehend things on 3 times speed, do you see how fast I'm talking? My brain works at that level of speed. So someone asked me if I sped my videos up, so that for whatever reason, like sped my videos up when I edit them. I don't, I just talk this fast. So I listened for a total of 75 days, 4 hours and 4 minutes worth of audio, which is wild. I took an average of 2.6 days per book to finish a book, which is pretty low compared to last year. Like I said, I think last year it was 1 or less, probably less because it was over 700 books. This year it took me almost 3 days to finish a book on average. I read an average of 138 pages per day, and I listened for an average of 6 hours, 50 minutes, and 49 seconds, which again, take that as like a 3 times speed thing. So realistically, it was only 2.5 to 3 hours on average every day. And I read on average 25 books per month. Now talking about cost, well, okay, we'll go back to that. Let me break down how much I read each month. In January, I read 46 books. In February, I read 41. In March, 34. This is where things just get down lower and lower and lower. In March, 34. In April, 23. In May, 28. June, 21. July, 21. August, 19. September, 15. October, 15. November, 14. December, 16. I acquired a total of 51 books. I spent $379.98. I think that I could do better. I think compared to the year before, and the year before that, this was a pretty reasonable amount to spend as somebody who reads as much as I do. I think that that was reasonable of me, considering, again, I read 290 books. I only purchased 51 last year. So I think that that's reasonable, but I don't know, maybe it's not. And also, to be fair, I wasn't living on a budget like I am now. When I got my new job, but before I moved into my new house, I had a little bit more money all of a sudden. Now it's different because I have lost an income from a spouse, so I plan on buying no books if I can help it, but we'll see. You know, there's always exceptions and issues, so of the books that I read in 2022, 62 of them were print books, so physical books. That is 21% of my total books. 63 of them were digital, which is 22%. And 165 of them were audiobooks, which is 57% of the books that I read were in the audiobook format. 270, aka 76% of them were prose books, so just like regular novels. 8 of them were novellas, so 2%. 8 of them were short story collections, another 2%. 4 of them were graphic novels, 1%. And 65 of them were rereads, which is 22%. So I did not realize that I reread as much as I do, but anytime that there's a series continuation and I have to read it and kind of remind myself what happened, I have to reread the previous books. So I guess that makes sense, especially because if it's like a longer series, then I'm going to be rereading it. Also, though, I think, was it this year that I did Lemony Snicket? Yes, it's this year that I did a series of unfortunate events, for example, and like those count as rereads, right? So, and Spiderwick also counts as rereads. God, that was being at the beginning of the year, so it feels like it was a decade ago. Of the books that I read, that were read with my eyeballs, 3 of them were less than 100 pages, so that's 2%. 19 of them were between 101 and 200 pages, 15%. 26 of them were between 201 and 300 pages, 21%. 49 of them were between 301 and 400 pages, which is 39%. 22 of them were between 401 and 500 pages, 17%. 3 of them were between 501 and 600 pages, 2%. And 1 was between 601 and 700 pages, 1%. And 3 of them were over 700 pages, which is another 2%. Ugh. Those are a lot of numbers. When I have dyscalculia, I said that like it goes away. I have dyscalculia all the time. It doesn't go away. Having dyscalculia sometimes makes filming stats heavy videos a little bit difficult, even though I love stats heavy videos. It's a little bit hard to say them out loud without messing it up. I read 134 adult books, which is 46%, and that, my friends, is what I wanted. I wanted this year to be majority adult books, and okay, it's not majority. It's like half adult books, but I still wanted it to be more adult than young adult, and I did it. So for everyone that says that I only read children's books, I don't know why I'm so bitter this video. I'm so sorry. For young adult books, I read 106 of them. That's 37%. And for middle grade or younger, which I don't really read children's books, but middle grade, I read 50 books, which is only 17%. 274 of the books that I read were fiction, 94%, and 16 of them were nonfiction, which is 6%. I read 4 genres. I read 28 sci-fi, which is only 10%. 126 fantasy, because God knows it is my favorite genre. It's actually not my favorite genre, it's just the genre I enjoy reading the most with less criticisms. Horror is my favorite genre, horror thriller. And I read that, and 126 of them makes it 43%. I read 20 romance. I did not expect that to be so close to the sci-fi count. I just really did not expect that, which is 7%. I read 7 historical books, which is 2%. 46 mystery thriller books, which is 16%. 38 horror books, which is 13%. 16 nonfiction books, like I said before, which is 6%. And 9 contemporary books, which is 3%. The reason nonfiction is counted twice is because I also count it as a genre, because some of the abolition books that I was reading is really hard to like categorize into any kind of real genre, so I just put them as nonfiction. My camera's gonna die. BRB. Okay, sorry, I had to change my camera battery and let it cool off, because when you film several videos in a day, it's the whole thing. I finished off with my ratings, or with my genres, so here is the last part of these stats, which is the ratings. I had a total of 83 5-star reads, which is 29%, 95 4-star reads, which is 33%, 73 3-star reads, which is 25%, and 27 2-star reads, which is 9%. I also had 3 1-star reads, which is 1%. And you have to really fuck things up for me to give you a 1-star, because even things I DNF I usually give a 2-star, so that's kind of like, yikes. Like, it has to be really bad for me to do that, so yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's it. That's the video. He doesn't ever let me finish filming in peace. He only chooses violence. That's it. That's the video. This is my wrap up for the end of the year of 2022. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed and hung around and who's been so kind about my current situation and why I haven't been posting as often. I am hoping that I am on the uptick of doing this correctly and getting back on track of reading and filming and all of that. I'm hopeful that, you know, this is an uptick and we are done being sad, but you know, grief is not linear and healing is not either, so yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody. You guys got me to 1,000 subscribers this year and I think that that is absolutely wild, so thank you so much. I will see you guys next week. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I post videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, generally. Not every week, but generally. And don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks, bye.